Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So today's video is going to be slightly different than sort of a normal review video or range day video, just because it's not something that's really related to reloading. This is going to be a rimfire video, and the topic of the video is this particular rifle. So this is the Citadel Trakr in 22 Win Mag. Picked this up probably, I don't know, maybe a month ago, something like that. And this was a Black Friday special over at Mr. Big Guns in Huntsville. They had them for $200, so $199.99. And you could pick either the 22 long rifle version or the 22 Win Mag rimfire version, which is what I chose. I've already got a 1022, so the long rifle, the 22 long rifle is already pretty much, I've got a spot for it, and just wanted something different. And I've never had a 22 Win Mag, so decided to go with it. And at $200, came with a scope. This is the, I don't know how you really pronounce this. Nico, Sterling, however you pronounce that. Nico, either way. It's the Game Pro. It's 4-12 by 40 scope. So at any rate, I was like $200 for the gun. You know, I picked it up, just kind of held it. It doesn't even feel like it's worth $200. I'll just be honest. The quality and the finish and just the overall feel, it is a very cheap feeling stock that is on this rifle. But again, at $200, I was like, man, if nothing else, it'd just be a fun gun to have at the house, plink with, you know, take out, do some squirrel hunting, maybe coyote hunting, you know, nothing too major. And at any rate, I'll get another, you know, halfway decent scope with pretty good magnification range, right? 4-12, be good for hunting applications. So that was sort of how I looked at it going into this, because I'm not really a big rimfire guy. It's not that I necessarily had a need for it, but it was a good deal. I felt like pretty good deal. As far as the package goes, again, $200, and just kind of gave me something else to mess around with. So picked that up, and I had with Christmas coming up, this is back when I originally told Matt, I was like, hey, I want to pick one of those up in the 22 Win Mag. I knew Christmas was coming up, possibility of getting, you know, a Mr. Big Guns gift certificate from somebody at some point in time within the family. So I knew I would probably be able to have a gift certificate plus throw a little bit of cash with it, and I'd be able to pick this up. And turns out that's kind of what I did. My parents had gotten me a gift certificate over there. I ended up being $100 gift certificate, so that was awesome. So this ended up coming in just over $100, you know, all said and done. It's not, the stock is pretty cheap. The stock is very cheap. When you pick this thing up and feel it, you can just definitely make note of how cheap the stock feels. Again, $200. I think they retail for slightly higher than that, but there's no way I would pay full retail price for this rifle. Just get that out of the way up front. It does have a threaded barrel, so if you want to run a suppressor on this, you can definitely do that. So that's pretty cool. It is threaded. It comes with two 5-round magazines. So 5, but 2 5-round magazines. It would have been nice if it would have had you know, maybe a little bit higher mag capacity. 5 rounds is plenty for, again, what I would do with this, just take it squirrel hunting or something like that. Went to the range today just to put the first rounds through it. I went back to Mr. Big Guns and actually picked up, they had 5 different boxes of 22 Win Mag on the shelf. So picked up all 5 just to try them out, see which one would shoot the best in this particular rifle, which I'm going to go back and actually probably shoot this quite a bit more at the range just to get a better feel for which of these 5 actually shoots the best, because these were the first rounds through the rifle and I was only shooting a 5-round group, 5-shot group. at 50 yards. And this is the target that we ended up with. Don't worry about this stuff from here over to the left. We're only focused on these guys right here. And what shot the best out of the 5 was actually this stuff, the Hornady 30 grain VMAX, and 2,200 feet per second at the muzzle. We'll just take their word for it. So that's what we were looking at. That's that group right there. Came in just under an inch. Again, this is at 50 yards, so none of this is impressive at all. I've got a Ruger 1022 that can stack just cheap, you know, 22 long rifle, can stack them in there pretty good at 50 yards, much better than these groups. But again, these were the first rounds I put through the rifle. We'll see how it, if it improves at all, maybe do a pretty good cleaning on it once I get the barrel broken in and run a few more rounds through it, maybe clean it up, see if that has any potential to have some level of improvement on it. The arm score, I think that's how you pronounce that, is 40 grain jacket at hollow point. I didn't shoot terribly. I mean, none of them really shot terribly. The CCI was very interesting. My point of aim was here. So on these, you know, for the arm score, point of aim was here, obviously, and that was our group. Hornady, point of aim, and we were hitting a little bit low and to the right. I didn't adjust the scope at all throughout this process. So then I went to the middle dot and I was going to shoot the CCI, which is it's these, the little CCI Maxi Mag TNT. These are jacketed hollow points, and the point of impact was way down and to the right. The first shot hit, you know, just below the bullseye there, and then the next 4, you know, were low and to the right. And so, you know, that kind of messed up how I was going to have my target laid out, but it is what it is. Then I shot the Remington. These are the 33 grain AccuTip. I guess I can actually pull one out of each one of these and show you guys. Well, it's hard to do one-handed, but these have a polymer tip on them. These and the Hornady have polymer tips on them. We'll talk about that here in a second. That came in just over an inch, but you can see point of aim, point of impact, very good on the Remington. And then the Federal ended up being the last group I shot, and it's also the heaviest. It's a 50 grain. Point of aim and then point of impact was here. So it was low, slightly to the left, but low. Yeah, so the CCI and the Hornady, they were the lightest that we tested, which was 30 grains. So the Hornady and the CCI, both 30 grains. Hornady shot the best out of all 5. But you had 2 30 grain options. The Remington is a 33 grain option. The arm score 40 grain option, and then the Federal was a 50 grain option. So it was pretty good to kind of have that. It would have been nice to have maybe 5 30 grain options to see if there was a difference between which brand it liked better one way or the other. But at the same time, I do like the fact that I had 5 different or 4 different grain weights to test out of the 5 different factory options. So that was nice just to see if something grouped better one way or the other. Again, very small sample size. I'm going to go back, put some more rounds down it when I have more time. I was a little pressed for time today at the range. I was trying to get this stuff done. I really wanted to get a video uploaded. It's New Year's Eve. So Saturday, New Year's Eve. I was going to try to get one uploaded today, which hopefully this video will post New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's, by the way. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, rolling right into the new year. So 2023 coming in hot and heavy. So I was trying to get that done. Had to get it bore-sighted, you know, and then get it on paper. That it took one shot. I was, you know, almost dead on at 50 yards. So pretty good job there. Then I had some other stuff I wanted to shoot. I was able to get pretty much everything done that I wanted to. I'd swapped some scopes around on some other rifles, and so just trying to get everything back on paper and re-zeroed. So that was really what I spent the majority of my time doing. I fired all, 25 of these. I actually shot 26 because I shot 1 additional for the arm score for bore sighting, and then I was good to go. So I shot all 26 of these rounds pretty quickly. I mean, the barrel didn't heat up I mean, hardly at all. But I shot all 26 very very quickly. And I had some issues with 3 out of the 5. And the issues came in because they were jacketed hollow points. So I had issues with them feeding off the mag. They almost wouldn't feed off the mag. The arm score, I could get to feed off the mag, but it was very difficult to get them to feed off the mag. The other two, the Federal jacketed hollow point and the CCI, it didn't happen. Did not happen. I had to shoot those. I had to single feed those, and that was an absolute pain. And so that was a little disappointing that, you know, it's going to be very picky about what type of 22 Win Mag ammo it actually likes that you can mag feed. So that was pretty disappointing, that I had to virtually single feed 2 of the 5 options. And then the arm score I could get to go. It was pretty painful trying to operate that bolt and get them loaded. So that was more or less single feed status also, which the jacketed hollow point plays a big role in that. I feel like just it would not properly feed at all. Now, the Remington and the Hornady, they fed just fine out of the 10 rounds total, so 5 each. Had no issues whatsoever. Now, those have the polymer tip on them, and so different bullet shape, and those fed perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. Again, it was only 10 round sample size for the 2 polymer tip options, but no issues whatsoever. They could actually feed, so that was nice. That was probably the biggest frustration that I had out of shooting this particular rifle. So again, if I would have paid full retail price, I've seen this thing go as high as like $300, you know, like $299 for this particular package deal. No way would I waste $300 on this setup. But if you catch it on sale, again, something just to plink with, shoot some squirrels, maybe some coyotes, some very small varmint type animals, then yeah, it's definitely an option that would be worth taking a look at if you are okay with being limited on your ammo selection. So again, just in this very limited sample size, jacketed hollow points are virtually out if you want to try to mag feed this thing. And you're going to have to stick with something like the Remington or the Hornady, something with a polymer tip on it, so it'll feed consistently and reliably. The scope, I like the scope. No real complaints or issues there. The trigger is actually pretty nice. That was the nicest part of the whole setup here. Was the trigger it broke pretty clean and crisp, and don't really have any complaints on the trigger. It's just a lot of fun to shoot, right? This particular round is a lot of fun to shoot, just because, I mean, you know, there's no recoil, and even there's just not, you know, a loud rapport with it either. It's yeah, it's just a lot of fun to shoot. You know, it's rimfire, so won't be reloading these or messing with any of that. But it's just overall fun little round to shoot. You know, if you wanted to buy this, say you wanted to have this as more of like a training aid for your kids or something like that, because it is a bolt action platform, so they're able to operate that bolt, get them more used to that type of operation on a firearm, then in my opinion that would be a great training aid, right? Something along those lines. Then also you take it out, kill some small game with it. So pretty cool stuff. Again, probably going to be limited if yours is like mine, which I would imagine it is, going to be limited on your ammo options. This, again, it barely worked, but it did work. It was very frustrating to try to get the bolt to close and go home on the arm score stuff. Let's see. I really don't want to fool with these other two. These other two are just your standard jacketed hollow points, where this one, it is a jacketed hollow point, but you've got this exposed lead piece here. On the other two, it's more of your traditional, it almost looks like kind of like a handgun round, right? On the hollow point, where it's just an abrupt stop here, and then you have the hollow point. So it's very difficult to get those to feed, or it was impossible actually to get those to feed. Polymer tip stuff, fed just fine. So that's really it. There's nothing, I mean, you know, nothing really more to say about this. Citadel Trakr in 22 Win Mag. The stock is just all one piece. The barrel is free floated. You've got your threaded muzzles. So yeah, I mean, it's just pretty straightforward, simple, a little 22 Win Mag, just something fun to shoot, plink around with. So y'all stay tuned for some more of these type of videos with this particular rifle. And if I come across some more or other varieties of 22 Win Mag ammo, I'll definitely be picking them up to try them and see how they perform in this setup. I plan on probably just sighting this thing in at 50, and then also, you know, I'll probably shoot it at 100, just see how it does. But it would be nice if we could tighten up some of these groups on this factory ammo. See how, you know, maybe put some more rounds through it and just see if that's kind of the performance we should expect moving forward. If it is, okay, no big deal, that's fine. And just find what shoots the best and then go buy, you know, several boxes of it just to have on hand. So that's really it. Really, you know, short, sweet, to the point, not reloading related whatsoever. But I did want to do a quick review on this guy. So my final thoughts on it, at least from an initial review standpoint, again, if you catch it on sale, not a bad deal at all. But in my opinion, your money would probably be better spent elsewhere on a different, maybe a different 22 option, different 22 Win Mag option. Again, if you're wanting to get your children into bolt action shooting, you know, if you want to eventually get them a rifle that's a bolt action rifle, something they could hunt deer with and all that, then this would be a good training option to go ahead and get them in the swing of things, get them used to, you know, loading a magazine, feeding from the mag, operating the bolt, that type of setup. So for that, you know, I could definitely see a good use case for it in that instance. So that's it. That's where we're going to leave it. Hope everyone has a wonderful New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Be safe out there. And yeah, we will catch y'all in 2023. Y'all have a good one.